Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies. And this is Can You Be Classed as a Type by Bernard Bromage. An article from Rosicrucian Digest, Volume 18, Number 10, November 1940. Can You Be Classed as a Type by Bernard Bromage. It is something rather trying to reflect that none of us is complete individually, no matter how much we like to regard our personal qualities as completely our own. We have to admit that in many respects we are our parents and ancestors in another shape. No one has any right to disown his stock. It has helped to make his character and will. On the other hand, every thinking person will agree that it is very difficult to put his friends and enemies into their correct categories. If he tries to do this, he will find a number of contradictions confronting him. Persons whose racial background is rich and mixed are particularly difficult to classify. Yet it is a very easy matter to estimate the general qualities of individuals merely by looking at their physical formation. As the body, so the mind, whether we admit it to ourselves or not. Most of us judge a man by his appearance. At any rate, this is how nearly everyone judges. We sum each other up by a process of comparison. First, we have in mind the mental image of a certain group or category into which an individual may fall. Then we compare the individual with this group. To a certain extent, we are right. It is a great help to the practiced psychologist to take rapid stock on the physical characteristics of an individual whom he wishes to sum up. He will, more often than not, jump to the correct conclusion. We betray ourselves in all kinds of ways. Our walk is frequently a remarkable index to our character. It is, for instance, very easy to detect anyone who has served for any length of time as a sailor. Seamen retain to the end of their days a certain roll in their gait. Likewise, with most professions, secondary and otherwise, we can make a fairly good guess as to their nature if we study bodily formation, walk, and even the sit of the shoulders. A look at a person's hands is a most excellent guide to his or her type. The palmists have always been right insofar as they have pointed out the relationship between the shape of the hand and general bodily formation. The hands are indeed the mirror of the self. For a large square palm always betokens an individual of some degree of capability. Generally speaking, the narrow, thin hands betoken, if not incompetence, at least a lack of grip in will and character. It is even true for pianists who, contrary to popular prejudice, should have squat, powerful hands. Normally, similar types of persons choose similar kinds of attire. It is remarkable how exactly this tallies with common observation. Just notice the kind of individual who chooses +4s for business wear, or plaid caps or loud ties, and you will be surprised how easily you can read his character. Among the ladies there will be similar noticeable resemblances between garments and character. The dress of royal personages is frequently systematic of prejudices and the possible desire to convey a lesson to others in the matter of decorum and seemliness. Old-fashioned garments will, in general, represent old-fashioned manners and prejudices. New and exaggerated fashions will betoken love of experiment and change. The physicians and occultists of the Middle Ages were in no doubt as to the influence of the planets on the human being. The belief goes back as far as the beginning of history. They taught that all the planets have certain well-defined effects on the life of man. Just as the moon influences the tides, so everyone born into the world is directed in his destiny by the combinations of the heavenly bodies, which prevail at the exact minute of his birth. The latter phrase is important. The very general horoscopes with which most of us are satisfied frequently err, gravely on the side of inexactitude, owing to the fact that, for good astrology, exact calculation is necessary. This is only possible when all the facts are accessible. A minute out may mean complete dislocation of the reading. The ordinary man is often skeptical about this mode of divination. It savors too much of superstition for his taste. But he must remember that if he bothers to glance down the astrological charts of certain reputable journals, he will find a considerable degree of truth even in those rough and inexact estimates of his life course. The great thing is to be ourselves. It will take the trouble to act naturally and forget to always be on our dignity and in line with conventions. We'll find ourselves becoming not types but personalities. It is only when we realize that we have the right to live our own lives that we shall make the most of our natural endowments. No personality is ever a type. The strong personality is getting ever more rare. Let us not add to its collapse by becoming too much of a type. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.